Hello, legends. How are we all going today? Joey here from the Ruck podcast, bringing you the next edition of the Ruck Report. I am just going to add in my special guest for today. Really, really exciting one here. We've actually got Tim O'Connor joining us from NRL SC off the weekend. Look, as a Chooks fan, I have not, but we'll get into that a bit later. What a great finals week of rugby league. It's been fantastic. First week of finals, the qualifying, of course. We're down to 6 teams. We will go through it a little bit. Shout out to Corey Kennedy, one. I hope you're doing okay after the Roosters game. Yeah, mate. These things happen. What do you do, hey? What do you do? Shout out to Pecky. She said, "Hey, legend. Hello, Pecky. Thank you for joining." Big Bold Dave, 67. Hello, mate. Max Elias, 765. How are you? Dion Redding, I can see, and Jason Templeton are there as well. Hello to everyone who is joining. D. Laylor has joined as well. Fantastic. Dion Reading said, should Ashley Klein ref any more games, mate? It was pretty poor, wasn't it? That Raiders Bronx game at the end. We'll get into that very, very shortly. Just waiting for our guest. Just that he's unable to join. We might try it one more time here just to see if we can get him in. Yeah, look, it's an interesting one. I don't want to go early yet and talk a bit about it. I want to save it till Timmy is in. I'm just inviting him in here now. Uh, Shout out to Casual NRL. He said, "Hey mate, when do the Roosters play next?" That was a good one, mate. The Roosters girls actually play in 2 weeks' time. They got the week off, so yeah, take that. Nah, but look, your Eels played really well this week too, Casual. So yeah, it was good to see them in finals. Shout out to the Casual athlete. Here we go. It looks like we have a request to join here. Oh, Casual's going to join us. All right, let's hit accept. Actually, this would be really good to get him on as well. Doesn't look like it's come up. Oh, here he is.
Mate,
Here
how's
he
it going?
is. Mate, I am good. How are you?
Oh yeah, look, my team didn't lose this week, so I'm feeling relieved. It's a rare
Yeah.
feeling as a para fan. No, Chooks were all right, mate. Chooks were all right. They went hard.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I actually wasn't too upset about it. Mainly because I think we defied expectations anyway in the season. A lot of people didn't have us making the eight at all. So to even make finals was great. Obviously, it would have been nice to go on with it, but we were just poor in that game. Too many errors, uh, just too much drop ball, brain fade from Billy Smith right at the end. It just, stuff like that doesn't help. So, yeah, look, it's always next year when DC comes over.
Mate, how about Canberra? How about Canberra?
Mate.
That was a game. I thought they had that locked in. Like it was like the 2023 grand final, but in
Oh mate,
reverse.
it was wild. I cannot believe that ending either. Like, it's so hard, isn't it? Because in most games, I mean, yeah, it's a really hard call because I know it's not all on Klein. Like he's getting calls from the bunker, but personally, I think it was the wrong call. Uh, but yeah, I'm not sure where they go from there. Obviously, leveled it up, but in saying that, the Raiders probably shouldn't have let the 28-12 lead
Mm.
drop. It wasn't very good there.
I mean, for them,
Um,
man, like the big worry for them is you can't win a game with a field goal. Like
yeah, that's
they
right.
had that cracker of a golden point game a month back against Penrith, right? And they won that game with that try, and that was epic. And in this game,
Yeah,
they really won the game with the try as well. But when they were trying to kick a field goal, they looked completely lost. And like Fogarty was playing really shallow. I don't know.
yeah.
I just didn't really feel like they had a shot there. So they're gonna have to figure that out because
Yeah, look,
yeah,
if you're a gambling man, I actually almost won a grand on this game. Just needed
yeah.
Tamale to score. Would have been very nice. We'll do a couple of comments here. Shout out to a few people who have put some comments in. Of course, we've got. Where's our next one here? We got Zion Harvey said Bronx Nation, so he is a happy man. They getting the week off.
Good to see you, Zion.
Uh, Sorry.
Oh, I know him. That's all.
Oh,
Said
oh,
hey.
beautiful. Yeah, Zion. Yeah, so he's very excited. Bronx Nation, week off there. Of course, Pecky said, "Hiya, Longy legend." We know Pecky very well. James Bolton set up the Saints. Mate, you're talking about AFL? I don't know. Both teams aren't in.
Mate, don't talk to me about AFL. I'm a Crows fan. and they went
Oh
straight
no.
sets from first place and got pounded both weeks. So
Yeah, that wasn't good at all.
yeah,
I don't watch much AFL, but I watched a little bit of that, and it was not good. Pecky said, "What an insane effing round," and that final game as well. Exactly. Uh, X Zane, I'm sorry if I've said that wrong. Smithson said Dolphins are winning the comp 2026. Look, we're going to talk a little bit about 2026. It's going to be really interesting. JS Professional Painting Services. Hey boys, enjoy off season long. Cheers, casual J.
oh, good to see you,
Um,
Jay. Good to see you, bro. He won a
yes, thanks for
bunch of times
everyone
on
who is joining.
head-to-head leagues in fantasy this year, Jay.
Oh,
He's a
very
stone
nice.
cold killer when it comes to head-to-head fantasy. So
Well, speaking of NRL fantasy, of course, Longy, you won the Ruck infringement NRL fantasy comp. So congratulations on that. That was a fantastic win for you. Still trying to get my other guest in here to join us as well. He's having a little bit of difficulty, but
but mate, you
mate,
got the replacement, the impromptu. I just
I
saw this
did.
on and requested to join. So
Oh, it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. We haven't connected on a pod in a long time, so it's good to be back. But mate, let's dive a bit into the week that was. Now, of course, Thursday night footy. We started with the Dogs and the Storm. Now, I want to say clinical performance from Melbourne, but it wasn't. It was a game that Melbourne probably should have won more convincingly. Of course, the Dogs lose Crichton and Sexton went down, but came back on as well. The Dogs probably were pretty much out of that game once Crichton went, but they look credit to them, mate. They held in there and they matched Melbourne.
yeah, I've been pretty critical of the Dogs recently. They've
Yeah,
put on some unconvincing performances recently, but that game against Melbourne, I thought they were tough in defeat. You know, like you said,
yeah,
they lost a few guys. The signs were good. Sexton was very effective in that halfback role as well. So I think next week they're going to go Sexton and Galvin, with them playing Burton at centre. I just think without Sexton, they've looked so rudderless. So they're going to give that a shot. So I don't know. I give the Dogs a chance next week. I reckon both these games next week are really tough to bet on.
yeah,
So I reckon the Dogs could steal an upset. And then you got Canberra, up against what the Sharkies, right? So
yeah.
yeah, I probably don't give Sharks much of a chance. Sorry to Jai, but I'll say Canberra get that win, and then I think the Dogs could get a sneaky upset against Penrith.
Mate, has anyone checked in on Jai? We haven't heard from him for a couple of weeks. He didn't say anything to me during that game, which is a very, very big shock for our good mate.
Yeah, his phone's waterlogged from all the tears, mate.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah,
know,
tears of
looking
joy.
dodgy.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um.
look, it's sorry, you go.
Oh, yeah. Just with that Canberra game though, like
Mm,
I was so confident they were going to win that game.
yeah,
I'm not talking about during the game. I mean pre-game. I was just thinking like they're not going to stop Hudson Young. They're not going to stop Ethan Strange. That channel is just
yeah,
going to be too good. Like they're too physical. And they just stopped defending Reece Walsh for about 15 minutes there.
yeah,
And
yeah, and you can't do that.
mate, the way he's playing the last month, if he keeps this up, he's the best player in the comp, which is
Yeah, for
absurd to
sure.
say. Like people were talking about him getting dropped 2 months ago, and now you've got him playing in this form where he's looking like the best player in the comp. So yeah, I'm like credit to Reece Walsh and credit to all the Broncos fans.
Absolutely, mate. I think it's a really interesting one, isn't it? Because Reece Walsh, as we've talked about so much, he's so rocks and diamonds, and most of the time he can just he'll throw a pass here and there that you go, mate, that is not first grade standard. But then he has games like this. He has periods of play where you just go, this kid could be anything. He could be absolutely anything. He gives me a lot of shades of Jared Hayne '09, mate, as a
Yeah,
para fan yourself, and like Jared Hayne, he was just incredible. If you gave Jared Hayne 15, 20 minutes to do something, he'd do it. And Walsh is very much in that mold. Of course, he got the sin bin in this game, and a lot of people I think thought, oh, that might be it. But credit to the Bronx, they came back. But mate, we'll jump into the first Saturday game now. Warriors against Panthers. Look, credit to the Wires. I actually thought they really hung in there. Penrith got the win, but again, probably not as convincing as I would like.
mm.
Really, really strange one there for the Panthers because they look like they were still good in that second half, and I thought they did the job, they did what they needed to do. Mate, do you think it was a case of them just trying to get through the match, or was that their game plan?
mate, the Wires put the heat on though. They were right in that game. It was within a score, and they got that very lucky call, Penrith, that forward pass from Luke Garner. I thought that was pivotal. Like I thought that moment really just locked the game out. And I think if you call that a forward pass, the Wires get the ball on halfway, it's a
Yeah,
50-50 game, right?
yeah,
But I thought the Warriors were brave. But again, without Metcalf, without Barnett, I don't know, they just have not recovered from not having Metcalf. Like they lost 7 of their 11 games coming into the finals as well. That
yeah.
I watched very closely that Para game they played where they copped a loss there too. Like the Warriors will come back next year and they'll be fully charged, but without Metcalf, they really weren't a threat, and a dodgy call definitely didn't help them.
Yeah, look, we've been saying that all year on the pod. As soon as Metcalf went down, he was probably in line for Dally M too, the way he was playing. But yeah, it's been hard for the Wires. Look, credit to them scraping in. A lot of people I spoke to yesterday, I was at a family birthday and we were all watching the footy, and a lot of people were saying they couldn't actually believe the Warriors were in there. They were sort of a bit of an imposter in the finals, considering the last probably month or so of footy that they had. Obviously lost to your Eels a couple of weeks ago, and some other little losses in there as well that was just very uncharacteristic of them. So, look, yeah, I think they'll be better for it. Of course, a lot of the younger guys getting that experience will help them. But look, Penrith keep on keeping on, and as we've said, if there's a team that can do it from outside the top four, it's Penrith. As much as I hate to say that, shout out to my co-host Harry, who will be absolutely ecstatic here and thinking that the five peat's on. But mate, I can't handle the fans again.
No, no, no one wants Panthers win. I'm going to tip against them every week going through. Obviously, Para fan who hasn't recovered from. Well, ironically, it's Fisher Harris's comments post grand final, and he was at the Warriors. But I just can't
Yeah.
root for him. Look, they're a team. It's like Tom Brady in the NFL, right? Like we're going to look back and we're going to love them in 10, 20 years. But for now, I am in the midst of it, and I'm happily hating them. I respect the fuck out of what they do, but I am a hater in the midst of it, cheering for this to end. So I wanted
Yeah.
Canberra to go through, but I'm a bit worried about them now after that game. Like they're gonna have to really fire up next week. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. I respect the system and the dynasty that Penrith have built, but when it comes to some of the fans, I mean, look, I live in Penrith, and I don't want to speak ill of family or other people who
Mate,
I
you're
know,
free
but look.
to. This is your show. Go ahead.
But
Get them.
look, some of the Panther fans that I know are quite obnoxious. And look, I get it, I get it. They're successful. They've won four in a row, so they can be. But yeah, it's someone else's turn. Shout out to the corner post. She said no more Panthers. That's exactly right. Luke, Melbourne Storm fan said up the storm. Yeah, look, we've spoken a little bit about Melbourne. We'll see if they can get through in the prelim. But mate, we'll jump into the next game. The what I was calling the game of the round heading into this, Roosters Sharks. Probably the hardest one to tip going in. Both have been in really good form the past 6 weeks. Both have won five of their last six. So it's actually really interesting. They were pretty much on par based on form. A couple of big wins in there. Of course, Roosters had the Dogs 32-12 and Melbourne 40-10. And then Sharks beat the Dogs in there as well. So some really good wins for both clubs. Heading into this game, the Roosters seemed really, really confident. They looked like they were just ready to play footy and throw it around and do what they've been doing over the past 6 weeks. But the Sharks, and credit to them, but they really, really muscled up. So it was a really interesting one for me. Like, half of me was going, well, I'm sad that my team lost, but then the other half was going, I'm actually really proud of the performance that the Sharks put on, mate.
Yeah, the Sharks were hit and miss, but the Roosters did throw away a bit of ball at crucial times.
Yeah,
I was watching that game though. I was just feeling like the Roosters had a bit more punch, though, through the middle in particular at times. But then
yeah,
there was this period towards the second half where the Sharks took over, and you really noticed Adam Fanua-Blake. And the numbers aren't jumping off the stat sheet or anything like that, but he was beating the first man, dragging guys another 5 meters every single time. What we were seeing was Toby Rudolph coming off the back of that and showing him into that
mm,
form he had a couple of years ago. He hasn't had so much recently. So I just thought that 1-2 punch really, it's not heralded that much right now, but it really won them the game. And just through
yeah,
that chapter in the second half, that's where that really lit up. Mortallo, he stepped up as well. He talked a
yeah.
lot of smack in
Ronnie.
the lead up and scored a double, and he was solid in the air. So that was a fun battle to watch. I thought Noani Dawase gave it everything he had, even to the last play. So massive props to him. He definitely didn't fail in this game. But for the
Mm,
Chooks, it's been a year where they've overperformed. Let's not twist it, right? Like they were a team who probably shouldn't have made the eight this year with the
yeah,
injuries they
for
had.
sure,
They
for
overperformed to
sure.
get there. They had some fantastic wins, and to be in the finals was good. and they look stronger for next year. So you're in a good spot, man.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one because the Roosters. We've spoken a bit about this on the podcast, but
Mm.
we lost 7 games earlier in the season where we led with 10 minutes to go.
Mm.
So you turn that around. That's 14 competition points right there, which is just wild. And those 7 games we didn't have Sam Walker. So you wonder what could have been if Sammy had been fit all year. We saw what he did in the last 6 weeks. I mean, he played 7 games and he had 15 try assists in 7 games. So
Yep.
pretty wild stats there. But mate, yeah, look, I'm as a Chook supporter, I'm happy. I'm happy with the performance of the young guys because you look at players like Nafahu White, who came of
Oh
age
yeah.
this year.
Mm.
He's been huge and he's going to be massive next year. And then you sort of go, okay, the Terrell May loss makes sense because a lot of people talked about, keeping Terrell with the motor he's got, but look at White. Look at the motor White's got, and you can't keep them both. So I'm actually not too upset that we went after White and kept White. As a Kiwi as well, he won't play Origin, so we do have him over those crucial periods, which is really, really good. But look, credit to the Sharks. They got past their finals week one. They actually haven't won finals week one since 2016, and they
Wow,
went on to win the comp that year. Yeah, so
that's crazy,
huge,
man.
huge stuff. Yeah,
That battle too,
it's nuts.
Kaylor up against Rob Toyer.
Oh,
Toyer
that
was
was
like a
good.
defensive juggernaut. And, like, you watch Rob Toyer every week, like he's becoming a noticeable black hole for
Yeah,
attacking teams. Like when you run at
yeah,
him, he locks you up, right? And
yeah.
he's in his first year, so yeah, no, you're building something good there. For Cronulla, do you give them much of a chance against Canberra?
Well, at the start of the year, you invited me to the All Stars match, and I went with our good mate Bergs, and obviously your other half of the casual athlete. And Bergs and I both said that we had Sharks winning the comp at the start of the
Nice.
season. Yeah, which was really interesting because obviously, it's been a long time since 2016 now, almost 10 years, 9 years on, and heading into finals, the Sharks always collapse. So it's a really interesting one that we both said that, and I like to think we're both strong footy minds, and yeah, so we
You
both
say
have the
so.
Sharks winning it. I would love to see them get through, just because I don't want to see the likes of Melbourne or Penrith in there. But is it a hard ask? They've got to win every game from now.
I mean, the reason you said that was because you thought AFB would make a difference in those big
Yeah.
games. And what was I just talking about? Like in that tough period where they looked like they were outmatched in the forward pack, his attacking footy really opened things up for them. So you could make the case. It's a tough one to argue that the Sharks with recent form, but Nikora's back as well. Like I don't know if they move the grand final to a day slot, maybe that helps Cronulla too. I just don't really see it up against Canberra. Like Canberra will have learned their lesson from last time, and they'll be tough in that game. So yeah, I can't see him beating Canberra next week. But yeah, that's I know. Look, anyone can win, right? You're in the final six. You got to win 3 games in a row. The Sharks can do it.
Mm.
I just don't see it.
Yeah, it's a tough ask, isn't it? I mean, it's really a tough ask for Penrith too. I know they're probably more conditioned when it comes to finals footy, but it's a tough ask for anyone to win 4 games in a row into a grand final. So yeah, quite difficult. But mate, we'll go through a couple of comments that we've had here. We've skipped over a few here. James McGurr, sorry if I got that wrong. Never happy for Raiders to win. I had to move to Canberra for work for 3 weeks recently. I now hate Canberra and Raiders and everything associated with either of those things. Wow, mate. Look, I don't know about hate, but yeah, it's different. Pecky says, I'm happy for either the Sharks, Raiders, or Penrith to win it. Penrith just for the unhinged storyline it would have been. Yeah, well, look, that's exactly right, isn't it? Never been done before. It just to me it just breathes of yeah, the NRL trying to get Penrith into the grand final again. But we won't go
Oh,
into that. We won't go into that. The NRL is definitely not rigged, Uh, Becky said, imagine having a perfect season and falling apart in finals. Oh, Becky said, for your son, Joey. Yes, shout out to my son, who people would have seen on social media today. Last night when we were at our party, he was standing on a chair in a Panther shirt saying, Go the Mighty Panthers. Now, for those of you that know me, I'm an avid Rooster supporter. The rest of my wife's family are Penrith supporters, so he was surrounded by them. But Yeah, look, let's just say that he's free to a good home at the moment, and and he might be living with his grandparents for a little bit. But no, look, credit to him, it was really really cute. Tim O'Connor, who we've been trying to get in, actually said, "Was that the best game of finals footy ever? Broncos had no chance in hell with 15 to go." Well, let's jump into that game. Raiders v Broncos. Now, Broncos getting it done 29-28, but it was all Raiders early, 28-12, mate, and they looked like they had it wrapped up.
Yeah, it was done. It was finished. And, Brisbane, they had Walsh come back on. Pat Carrigan, he spent some time in the bin as well. I think it was about 2 minutes after Walsh went off. So they had 11 guys. They copped that loss. Walshy got a bit of ball on the left side and just made Fogarty miss a couple of times and then was just too fast, right? So, I don't know. If you're looking at the last month of footy, this is a massive overreaction. We don't want to drop it anyway. Like, if you look at the last month of footy, Reece Walsh is the best player in the comp. And this is one of the best months of footy we've ever seen from a player. Because like a month ago, we were talking about the Broncos as they've lost their starting halves. Are they going to make the top eight? And through his form, and look, the others have stepped up too. Their pack has been fantastic. The centers in
Yeah.
particular have been awesome. But through Walshy's form, they've gone to the top four and they've just beaten Canberra, right? And they still don't have their starting halves. Like when you go for the Roosters, I go for Parramatta. We understand how disruptive that is. And they do have Ben Hunt as a backup, so he's pretty effective. Billy Walters has been good, coming into that six jersey as well. But without your starting halves, man, to have won the games the Broncos have won, supremely impressive. Even last week, you go up against the Storm. I think they were playing in Melbourne last week too to earn that
Yeah.
top four spot, and they go and beat Melbourne as well. So it's not just a fluke. Like they're winning these games over and over again, and it feels like they've learned from 2023. And if Reynolds can come back, hopefully next week, and if Walsh can keep doing what he's doing when Reynolds comes back into the team, I almost think you have to go Ben Hunt straight to hooker and keep Walters in the halves, which is a bit controversial. But I just think that balance there with a steering seven, Walters at six, and Walsh at fullback has been so good. Whereas earlier in the year we saw Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds play together, and Walsh played terribly with that combination. Just didn't gel, didn't get the ball. So I think they need to leave Walters at six, and they need to go Ben Hunt to hooker or Ben Hunt off the bench if they get Reynolds back next week.
Is Man back soon as well?
I think he's a bit longer, so higher
Yeah. Yeah.
higher up the leg, hamstring.
Yeah.
I think it's another couple of weeks from memory.
It'd be interesting, won't it? Because yeah, I've been really impressed with Billy Walters and Hunt at the moment. I've
Yeah.
actually thought they've connected really well. But obviously, once Reno comes in, you think he plays. I did hear. Sorry, I forget the name of the pod, but there was a podcast who were mentioning when Reynolds comes back, maybe playing him at 14, just because of how well Walters and Hunt are going. I don't know if I like it because I don't really see Reynolds as a hooker, and you're not going to bring him on to play dummy half. Like not if you got someone like Ben Hunt there. So. And then what's the point of changing the whole team just to do that? But mate, we'll go through a couple of questions here. Reynard 888 said, "How will the judiciary fare for Broncos?" Well, if we think anything in the past, I think they'll be okay. Pecky said, "Agree. Back from the brink of death, and Walsh turned into a monster after the binning." Absolutely. Lockie Hart 15 said, "Bro, they got robbed. Hosking was going for the ball." And Boo Juju 088 said, "In my opinion, I think it's still Raiders premiership to lose." Chad.Stacey.75. Raiders were robbed. Clearly, Stewart touches it second after the Broncos player touches it. And then Lockie Hart 15 said, Hosking was charged down, not trying to do anything to Walsh. It's an interesting one. It's a bit of a grey area because as soon as you make contact with a player now, doesn't matter
Mm.
how light it is, doesn't matter what it is, as soon as they make contact with an opposition player, it's a penalty. And
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree because I think the game has gotten a lot softer, and I think the game has we're sort of going into dangerous territory where it's like, are we going to play Oz tag or touch footy very soon? It's a very interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, look, obviously the rule is the rule. So,
Yeah,
the rule is called
exactly.
correctly. We can't criticize that side of things. But from a pure game flow perspective and a bit of a common sense perspective, if I was deciding what the rule was on the spot, which is not how we referee games, uh, I was thinking in that moment it was definitely a penalty. He's hit the legs. They've made that a penalty pretty recently, and players have had their legs broken from that sort of play. But I would have thought the
Yeah,
penalty from where he kicked it would have been fine because you're replicating the play then, right? So you're going, all right, that was an attempt at field goal. You now get a penalty shot from that spot, which is an easier kick than a field goal, right? Because there's no pressure. And you're giving them that second opportunity, or they can take a kick for touch and go for a closer field goal. The fact that it was
yeah,
a penalty from right in front, I thought that was a bit of a sour moment. and it took a bit of the sting out of the game, but then it came right
It
back
did. It
when we
did.
went to extra time, and no one kicked a field goal, and it was all fun again. But yeah, that's how I would like that rule played personally. Penalty from the place where it was kicked, or penalty from where the ball lands, like they normally do. But they did penalty from right in front because it's a field goal attempt, and that was where the ball was intended to go. I think it's a bit too generous of a rule, so I'd be having a look at that.
Yeah, for sure, mate. We have a question. I'm assuming for you, Jacqueline Laurie, if I've said that right. Hey, mate, is your fave here? What's the peak and pit of your week? Personal life, of course.
I always ask this. Peak and Pit. What have we got? Peak. Went and saw Bergs actually in a play. So he was in a play this week. It was like
Ah,
a four-man production sort of thing with then a live
very
band and all that.
nice.
Absolutely cracker. He kept trying to not make eye contact with me. Apparently, it would make him laugh. So that was the peak. The pit was I had a bit of money riding on Canberra winning, so that was a heartbreaker for me.
I'm really sorry, Jacqueline. I said he. She said I'm a girl. Really sorry about that. Just how I said it. I didn't mean any harm there. Tim O'Connor is finally here. He has got on. He's worked out Instagram. And hello, mate. How you going?
Yeah, very well, thanks, boys. Sorry, yeah, technical difficulties. I was trying to do it on the laptop, and because
Nah, it's all good.
that's how we do all our off the bench podcasts, and yeah, couldn't get the planets to align, and just wasted 20 minutes. But I've been tuning in and listening, and while I was trying to work out how to get it on the laptop, and figured in the end this was so much easier. So yeah, I hope the audio is okay, and the listeners can certainly see.
Mate, it's fantastic. The only thing that's wrong with you is you've got a Broncos jersey on. A couple of questions here. Lucky Heart 15 said Raiders were robbed. Do you agree? Jacqueline Laurie said no need, but now you've got to share your peak and pit. Look, peak. What was my peak of the week? Spending time with the family. The pit, seeing my chookies lose. Peak and duck footy. I was there too. Bergs killed it. Lucky Heart said Raiders. Yes, mate. I gathered that part. Timmy. Let's talk a bit about this game. We've just spoken a little bit about the Raiders and Bronx. Mate, as a Broncos fan, what did you think of that call?
As in the knock on or not knock on in the extra time.
Mate, whatever call you want to talk about.
There you go.
Yeah. There was a few interesting ones in there. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, look at the end of the day, I actually called it live in the lounge room and said that looks like
Yeah,
it's got a hand to that. The ball changed slight rotation, so yeah. Look, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've got my Broncos glasses on, but I think there's absolutely a hand in there. He definitely touches the ball, and I think if it goes through his hands, like they've both gone up for the mark, and he's jumped in and it's touched his little finger, and it's definitely gone forward. So it's
yeah,
rules are rules, hey Macca. And I mean, to put everything in perspective, don't get me wrong. I think the Raiders certainly had enough opportunities to ice that game and put it to bed.
for
And
sure, for sure.
I think the Bronx should have put it to bed in the first couple of minutes of extra time, as it was anyway. They had the same thing down inside the 20 meters, and I can't for the
Yeah.
life understand why they didn't take a shot at field goal then. But I think Raiders had three chances to put that game to bed, and they didn't take the opportunities.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Jacqueline Laurie has said, Broncos fan, Timmy, she's talking to you. What's your peak and pit? I don't want you to feel left out. So, what was your peak this week, mate? Highlight of your week, and what was your pit this week?
Outside of footy,
Yep.
oh geez, mate, I don't know. Watching my girls, my two little girls, play their last game of hockey for the season.
Oh, lovely.
My son and I both play soccer, and my three girls, including my wife, play hockey. So yeah, it's a sport is absolutely a big family affair. I still play Masters soccer, and the wife plays Masters and ladies hockey twice a week. So yeah, and we've got all our kids into sport, and not as young as we used to be, but we still love playing, getting out there, make that job.
Love it, mate. Did you have a pit of the week? Was there something that you that was your pit?
Oh, mate, I think my Super Coach finals has been pretty average. Saved by Walshy today. I know this isn't a Super Coach show, but yeah, the deal with Super Coach for the finals is your captain gets triple points and your vice captain gets double points. My
Yeah,
captain this round was Teddy, and Walshy was my vice captain, and Walshy probably in updates will outscore Teddy, even though it's 2-3. So yeah, is what it is. That's probably as good as average as my weekend got. But no, mate,
Yeah,
everything else, it's been a great weekend with the family. Like I said, heavily involved in sport.
love
Some
it.
teammates and stuff had grand finals on today. But yeah, no, it's been a great weekend.
All right, boys, let's look into next week. Finals week 2. Of course, we're seeing the Sharks taking on the Raiders and the Panthers taking on the Dogs. Longy, let's look at the Panthers Dogs game first.
Yep.
What do you think? Do
Some
you
big
think
problems.
Panthers win it
Yeah.
convincingly?
No, no, I don't think so. So look, if the Dogs are full strength, oh yeah, I'd be thinking about tipping them. The Dogs.
Wow.
I don't know. I've got this soft spot for them, and like, you remember that game a month ago where they played against the Storm and they nearly got that win? Like, I tipped them that week too.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's this bounce back coming for them because their early season dominance, they're 11-2, right? About halfway through the year. And it was built off physicality and back against the wall, aggression,
Mm,
just a swarming defense. It inflates missed tackle counts because they rush out of line, they put a lot of pressure, but they were built on that. And I'm just sort of waiting for that to wake up again. And I'm waiting for, Kurt Mann burned his way into an Origin jersey. I'm waiting for that form to return from him. Like, that
yeah.
middle swarm just hasn't come back from them. And I think if they bring that, they can rattle Penrith. Because right now you've got Dylan Edwards, who's not in the best form. Blaze
Yeah,
Talungi, who can be
absolutely.
flustered, right? He can be flustered as well. If you give him time, he's a brilliant player, but he's a young guy. And then Nathan Cleary's being asked to shoulder a lot of the load. I'm not sure if Mitch Kenny comes back for this one too. So Penrith are vulnerable. But then you throw in the fact that Kickow might be out, Stephen Crichton's definitely out. And you go probably Burton to centre. You got a Galvin Sexton combo in the halves if Sexton's good to go.
Mm,
I think the Dogs will turn up for this one. I think they're going to give it everything. I could see them losing bravely in a really
yeah.
close game. That's probably my
They've,
prediction, but I might
they've
end
got
up
nothing to
tipping them.
lose.
Well, if
Mm.
They've
Kickout
got
plays,
nothing to
I'll tip
lose.
them. I'll put that on record.
Wow, big, big. Timmy, let's look at Raiders Sharks, mate. Now, who gets it done in that one?
Oh, mate, I think if Raiders have still got the legs after the 100 minutes of footy today, then I think you've got to have the money on the Raiders. Surely they look great in patches, and they have done for most of the season. Obviously, we've all questioned for months now about the Raiders' soft draw, and
Yeah.
they seem to get it year in, year out. But hey, look, the population down in Canberra doesn't relate to the same population as in Brisbane and Sydney, and that's where the TV games go. So that's why the Raiders play generally the bottom half of the draw. So it's going to be interesting to see after this year once they get to they're now in the final 6. So
Mm,
next year's draw is going to be interesting, but I can't see much changing. It's look, they've got the attacking power, they've got the defensive there as well. Joey Taps, and if all the boys stay injury free and judiciary free, then
yeah.
surely the Raiders are going to do it.
Can I flag
Yeah,
something here
great.
about the Raiders too, Joey?
Yeah, mate.
They were wooden spoon favourites preseason. Like, go Google Raiders wooden spoon. You'll find a bunch of NRL experts tipping them for the spoon. I had
Yep.
money on them to make the top 8 preseason. It was paying $3.50.
Mm.
Wow.
Like, they were so written off, and everyone's forgotten about it. They were so written off, and like, what
Mm.
they've done this year is just incredible. And
Oh, yeah,
I
for sure.
reckon, like, they're kicking themselves now because thinking, oh, like, we thought we were just going to rebuild. We thought we were going to
Yeah.
scrape into the 8. Fogarty's gone, right? They're doing a rebuild with young halves next year, like,
Yeah.
not realizing they had the perfect formula. So it's a crazy situation, Canberra.
Absolutely. I think that will test them next year. That's definitely going to be a test. Having the young halves, Ethan Strange, he's an absolute weapon, but I think he'll move the halfback next year, and probably Sanders or Cook will see at 5'8". But boys, let's move on from there. So let's say Panthers and Raiders win, as you've let's say Dogs and Raiders win, as you've both predicted. Dogs would have to take on the Bronx, and the Raiders would have to take on Melbourne. Timmy, who wins out of Dogs and Broncos, mate?
Mate, you've got to go with the stats, and I absolutely be praying for rain. I'd imagine we played them twice this year. Gave them a nice, good whooping both times. So, look, I'd be much happier to play the Dogs than I would to play Panthers. Much the same as I think most of the teams are probably happier to play the Sharks than they would have been the Roosters. So, yeah, it's
Well, I don't know the way we played.
yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Roosters lost that game. I know
Yeah, yeah, I do.
or on that day. Yes, last night as well. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. I certainly didn't see the Roosters bowing out of the finals this early. That's for sure.
Mm. Yeah, me neither. Longy, let's say it's Raiders against Melbourne in the prelim. Who wins that?
Oh, I mean, look, Melbourne are sort of hobbling into this one, aren't they? Like,
Mm.
I would go Canberra even at full strength. I just think physically through the middle, they get it done. But I don't know, if you throw Melbourne full strength in there, Canberra were picked apart. Like that Canberra right
Yeah.
edge defence, they've had some problems recently, and that was put on show. And I don't think they could stop Melbourne. But I don't know, is Munster good to play? Like Jerome Hughes, he's in a bit of doubt as well.
Yeah.
Pappenhausen's
I
out.
don't think Hughes will be back.
Jerome Hughes has got a broken wrist. He's not going to play with a
They're
broken.
talking about
He'll
him playing
he'll
with one
try.
leg.
He'll try.
Yeah, I mean, see, Chuck Munster in there. If I was coaching Melbourne, I'd be saying Munster and Pappenhausen just attack the shit out of that left edge,
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
play
That's it.
attacking left edge, right? So if they've got Munster playing and he's at 100%, they could win that one. But he doesn't sound like he's at full strength after that tackle. So I'll go Canberra to bounce back. I think they'll wake up
Love it.
from that one and they'll fire up. Yeah.
Question,
So from there, we.
sorry,
Sorry,
Joe.
mate. You're
Question
right.
for both of you. With the way things finished yesterday, and if Pappy's not ready to go and Munster is, do they start the game the way they finished yesterday with Munster back at number one?
Oh. I don't know if you can. I think Munster needs to be 5'8", especially heading into a prelim. He's obviously the most experienced player. I think I think you can throw Nick Meaney at fullback and he'll do a job for you. Personally, I would have Meaney at fullback and keep Munster at 5'8".
Could you consider? I don't know if he's fit. Still fair longer.
Oh yeah, what a
He
gun!
could be
I don't
playing
know.
though.
I think he might be injured.
I heard he was
I haven't seen him.
okay going back sometime in the finals. Because
Okay.
he did a hammy like 8 weeks ago or something like that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But if he's been playing in reserve grade, like you saw how much speed bothered Canberra's right edge defence. Sewer comes in, even off the bench, something like that. Maybe you throw a bit of wild card there. I don't know,
yeah.
it's
Would
an
be
option out
good.
there. Yeah.
Mate, that
Yeah.
kid dead set got speed to burn, doesn't he?
Mm.
He's
Oh
just
yeah.
Oh
surely somebody in the off season throws some stupid amounts of money at him and tries to sign him. I think there's a few budding fullbacks in the NRL that are currently not playing first grade, and I think there'll be a fair bit of movement in that area across the off season. That's for sure.
Yeah, mate. Look at
Roosters
Trey Fuller
2027.
recently.
Yeah,
Oof.
absolutely. Trey
He's
Fuller.
29 though. Like, get a move on, man. We need to see some seasons of Trey Fuller. Like, he
Yeah,
Yeah, for
deserves a
sure.
shot. Yeah.
and I think that'll be the difference. I think he's at that point in his career where he's probably surely realistic going, I haven't got much longer to go, and if somebody throws some money, then surely he's going to be asking for a release.
Mm.
James Tedesco probably only has 1 or 2 good years in him, so yeah,
Oh, get
there's
out.
some
Get out.
there's some coin to burn there.
Ponga's going there, isn't he? Yeah,
Yeah, he is actually 27.
yeah.
He'll
Oh,
be
if he would
there.
have
He'll
waited
be
another
there.
8 years, sign him at 35 like Cherry Evans, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Hey, you wait till Cherry Evans wins a comp there next year.
Oh,
So from there, let's say it's a Raiders Broncos grand final. We're not going to ask Timmy. We're going to ask Longy. Longy, who wins Broncos Raiders grand final, mate?
I was so confident in Canberra today. And Brisbane, mate, they keep proving people wrong. I've got to give them the credit. I don't know.
Oh, don't
You heard
say
me
it
before,
while
by
he's
the way,
here.
when you were listening. I was saying that Reece Walsh is the best player in the comp on the last month of form. So you'll like that. I'm still going to back Canberra, though. I just think in a tough
Yeah, good
games,
man.
they rev up. Yeah, I think. Oh, Reynolds back in though.
That's a tough one. Hey, like
No, Reynolds is
Mm.
back. Yeah,
as a coach, surely, like
yeah.
the Madge is going to have no sleep for the next
Oh
7 days.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, the next 2 weeks,
Yep.
really, that's the worst part, isn't it? But how much is he going to stew for the next 2 weeks over who to play if they're fit? Could you imagine, like, they make that call and then second set in or something, A-Ray does a hammy. Like, it's just,
Yeah. Hunt
he
will be there
runs,
though. Like, he'll
strides
be
out.
on. Yeah.
It's that would just be such a tough call. And don't get me wrong, they'll obviously have provisions in place and a plan B or C or whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean, go back 6 weeks ago or whatever when him and Mam both went down, like that was never part of the plan.
That kicking game though, man. Like that Adam Reynolds kicking game is just
Absolutely.
Oh,
so
for sure.
lethal.
For sure.
And that long kicking game, and you guys like Ben Hunt can do it, but Reynolds does it at a different level, right?
Yeah.
If you're going against Canberra, like Fogarty brings that same thing for them. So yeah, you have to play Reynolds. Like Reynolds is a must play, and you just figure it out around him.
Yeah, look personally. I'd play Reynolds and I'd move Hunt back to 9. I think Corey Page can move back to the bench. We did have a comment here from Rugby League Therapy Podcast. He said, "I don't see Broncos winning a comp with an interchange bench comprising of Smoothie, Jaden Hunt," and he wrote Zach. I don't know if he meant someone else. I don't know who Zach is.
Salty, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But that would be my point there. If you move Hunt back to 9, you can move Pakes to 14. So you probably get a bit more experience there as well. Link.Dan said Broncos v Penrith in the prelim final. Yeah, well, yes, well, yeah. Sorry, Longy tipped the Dogs, but yes, it could be Broncos v.
Hey Philly, just on the bench quickly too.
Yeah,
Xavier Wilson, when's he due back? Because I think he's a big
He,
difference maker.
could
yeah,
be soon.
Mm.
he was due back this week, I thought.
Oh,
Okay, you're
right.
good then.
They
Yeah.
wasn't quite ready. So, I mean, who knows? We all know that there's plenty of ducks and drakes this time of year in the NRL, and coaches don't like to. I honestly don't know. I believe he's not far away.
Yeah, you add him
We've
onto that
got
bench, completely different thing. Like
Yeah,
Payne
Nathan
2.0.
Peterson said week 3 he's back.
Yeah, that's a great thing
Prelim,
for them.
yeah.
Because you go Adam Reynolds there, matches up the kicking game up against the Canberra. Xavier Willison, so physical, so explosive, can
Yeah.
slip to the edge if he needs to as well, if you're desperate for points. So, yeah, I like that addition.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a fantastic first week of finals. Heading into the next week of finals is going to be another absolute cracker. Boys, a couple of final words before we go. Don't forget that our next episode 126, is recording Monday night, tomorrow night time that we're speaking now. We will drop our viewer questions, our listener questions post on the social media, so please get your listener questions in. It's going to be an absolute cracker of an episode. We have another guest because it is Finals Footy, of course, so stay tuned for more of that. Of course, you can check out all of our content on social media: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, also Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube as well. Of course, shout out to NRL Casual Athlete. Go and check out Lee on his social media as well, and of course YouTube for 2026 fantasy, mate. It'll be coming up very, very soon.
Yeah, mate, this is off season for me when it comes to content. So I'm just jumping on random lives that friends are doing at this stage. But yeah, 2026 fantasy is going to be big, and Parramatta is going to win the comp next year too. So going to be a big one.
Oh, big call. There we go. Stop it. And of course, Timmy O from NRL SC Off the Bench podcast. Mate, you guys still doing some stuff over the off season?
Yeah, mate, absolutely. We'll. I don't know. It's a bit like the Kangaroos tour, isn't it? It's this is just going to keep rolling. Yeah, look, I'm still working through EPL stuff at the moment with Supercoach
Yep.
EPL and Fantasy EPL. I'm as well as you know, Joey. I'm a teacher, so I go on holidays in a week's time, and I'm going to actually have a bit of time to start writing some articles and start doing a bit more podcasting for that.
Very good.
Outside of that, guys, we've got the BBL kicks off very shortly as well.
Yes.
Later on in the year, so I think we'll have 4 to 6 weeks of chilling out slightly, come up with a plan for BBL, and yeah, if we'll be all guns blazing in that. And we've obviously got a little bit of inside with Sam Hazlitt as well, who's part of our crew and has been for the last 12 or 18 months. So yeah, Sam, hopefully we're pushing hard for him to pick up another BBL contract this year, as he missed out last year. So he's been in fine form up this neck of the woods, and hopefully he gets a roll back in there. So
Yeah.
to have a little bit more inside knowledge.
Yeah, it will be good, mate. Of course, our cricket show will be running in the off season as well. Everything down legs, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be awesome. We may be having a special guest appearance from none other than Semi Hazlitt himself. So that might be really good. Shout out to you, Timmy. Thank you for that. And of course, we'll be running a BBL Supercoach comp again as well. So stay tuned for all those details. Of course, shout out to Longy for winning our NRL fantasy comp, and shout out to MT Mutton Foxes, who won our Supercoach comp. So your championship rings will be on the way soon, boys. So make sure you flaunt them, tag the podcast, and until next time, be good.